Hey, Katrina, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. Waiting for everyone else to jump on. What's going on, my friends? We're going to give it just a couple more minutes as more people hop on here.
Sounds like a plan.
By the way, we are recording this, so I'm going to do my best to not use any cuss words and just recommend you do the same. Lindy.
I'll be on my best behavior. Do you know what we're up at in regards to getting to the million?
Yeah, we're right now stuck right around 400,000. So we're going to. I have a feeling though, within the next 5 to 7 days, we'll be at that million.
Yeah, I agree.
Welcome, Shirley.
Welcome myself to all you beautiful people. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How's everyone's home offices doing? Mine's a little yeah right now.
Makeshift.
Our project this month was actually our home office, so that was just funny timing. We got it done like right before.
Lucky.
I know.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and just get started right now? We're gonna have some people popping on, I'm sure, as we move along, but that is all good. What's going on, Lene? So welcome to Slash for Cash. We're gonna be talking about money. So I hope you guys are okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And mostly, I just created something to kind of keep me up to date and on task. But I would like for this to really be as interactive as possible. You guys are all muted as of right now. But if you have something to say, either put it in the chat, raise your hand, ask the question, unmute yourself, and I'm here to help too. So this is a bit more of a brainstorm more than it is a presentation. Okay.
So Chris, question.
Shoot.
So I'm learning as I go with this Zoom. So I don't know if everybody knows. So if you want to unmute yourself, just hold down your space bar and it'll let you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Shirley. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So welcome to Slash for Cash. This was actually a lot of fun for me to go through my expenses and realize how much money I'm actually wasting. We've been in a really, really good market for quite a while. I think most of us can agree with that. Just shake your head, yes, yes. For those of you that have been in it for more than 10 years, you know that we're actually a little bit spoiled as far as that goes. I was listening to something today that actually says prosperity happens. Um, and what's funny about that is because as our revenue increases, and a lot of it was actually done because price points went up. I mean, when I started 10 years ago, the average price point I was selling it was 160,000. So the GCI was way lower. Prosperity happens though, right? So all of a sudden, our income, our GCI goes up, and it just seems natural to let some of our expenses go up and slide as well. I found some things I forgot I was paying for that I did not even think about for the last few years. So I think this will be something very valuable to pretty much anyone that does the exercise that I'm going to go through. And at the end of this, I'm going to show you what we've done so far as an office. There's a challenge out there that I've sent out to everybody. Was I want to see if we can actually save $1 million in the next 12 months. We're just under 400,000 so far. Okay. So I'm tracking it. I'll show you what that looks like. And I'd love for you guys to do this. I'd love to see where you are saving and how much you are saving. All right. So slash for cash, mind your money or else. Bear with me on the Jason reference. I had some fun with this. Okay. So my coach asked me just a couple of weeks ago to go through a bank statement exercise, and this was interesting for me because we've strictly been working on my net worth. So we've been used to talking about money. I think there's kind of an interesting taboo when it comes to talking about money, but we've been talking about money now for the last 4 months and strictly net worth. This was the first time we actually sat down and said, okay, we're going to go through your expenses. And I'm totally cool with that. I was an open book. But contrary to what she normally sees, most people are very up in arms, like, well, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to do that. I think it's time to get real and get right. So what we did was the bank statement exercise. And this needs to be done for both business and for personal. The goal here is, number one, to print your bank statement. So how many people are like me and have multiple different bank accounts? Yes. So I have 4 different accounts. I printed every single bank statement of those accounts for the last 2 months. Okay. You can just do it for the last 30 days. You don't have to go that far back. Does everyone know how to do that? Or do you get that sent?
Yes. So does it matter if we do 30 if we go back 2 months? What's the difference there?
Some of your expenses may be on different pay schedules. So I know
Okay.
in some cases I pay quarterly on certain things, whereas other things I pay monthly on, or even annually. So you just need to get a good glimpse of what you're doing. To just start, I recommend doing this in rounds. My round 1, I saved out the low hanging, or I cut out the low hanging fruit. I'm going through round 2 right now, and I'll describe what that looks like as we go through. But if you can just start with 1 month, that's a great way to start round 1. Okay. So don't be shy about this. Print out your bank statement. Okay. From there, grab a highlighter. If you don't have a printer, save it as a PDF and get ready to edit it. All right. But this shouldn't be super difficult.
What if you use a credit card for pretty much everything? Would you do it on your credit card statement?
Absolutely. Yes. Very good question, Lauren. Yes. Whatever you're using to pay anything with, print it out. I know a lot of people, a lot of us actually do use credit cards for their business expenses for the most part. I don't. So I'm just not disciplined enough for that. So I just pay everything with debit.
You
Okay.
might have to teach you something. I almost got back $1,000 this year for my city card.
Hey, I like that. And at least you're leading with money and not frequent flyer miles. Because how valuable are your miles right now?
No, but I will say so I've gone to Kauai on miles and I paid $99 for 4 people. I went to Disneyland on Christmas all on miles. I paid $99 for 4 people. So
Not bad.
It's not bad.
Not bad. The one time I used a credit card was for our honeymoon, and it was in Europe. And I racked up a $4,000 bill. Just we were there for a month, so racked up a $4,000 bill. I had the cash for 3 years. I just didn't pay it off because I didn't want to say goodbye to my $4,000. That's
Right.
when I realized I'm just not going to use credit cards.
And I would say it's definitely not, I've never left a balance on mine. I just don't operate that way, but I want that cash back.
Well done.
That's why. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I like cash back. Mute. All right. So the first thing we want to do once you have these printed is we're going to label them U, W, and N. U is going to be everything that is really unnecessary. Okay, you're going to highlight that in red. Can anyone think of something that might be unnecessary that you have as an expense?
music memberships.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. Very good. W will be want/lifestyle. So anything that you just want, like, nope, I want that, or my lifestyle demands that I need HBO or Showtime or whatever. Okay, you're gonna highlight those in yellow.
Would that be gym memberships and yoga and stuff? Did you put that under want?
I did. Yep. Yep. I also put, we allowed ourselves, and I haven't even included this in my, this will be in my round 2, but I haven't included how much we've spent on restaurants and to go food and coffee. I don't really have those expenses anymore, but that was probably somewhere around $400 a month. Because I always have to have a bottle of wine. Okay, but that would be W. Okay, you'll highlight that in yellow. Next, N. N stands for need, and you're going to highlight that in green.
What did you say that U was highlighted in?
U would be red, and you can create whatever you want here, but I had U in red, meaning stop it. W was in yellow, meaning watch it, and N was for green, meaning go. Okay, so the goal here is going to be to cut out the U category completely. 100% get rid of it. Okay, W needs to be cut by at least 20%, and honestly, probably a little bit more, just because, I mean, we're on quarantine. What else are we going to do? Can't really go to the gym right now, can you? Unless your gym went virtual, which I know some are, but those would be some expenses there. So we recommend at least 20%. I would recommend a little bit more, and cut N where you can. I have not cut any of my need just yet. Okay. So when you're looking at lifestyle, think the gym. Are you paying for the gym right now? That's really one of the first things that I was like, oh, better cut that. Not even open, not allowed to go. I also had want or lifestyle. I had Audible. What I realized was I had 6 credits stacked up in there, and I was still paying Audible every month. So we cut that. I'd also recommend, if you're like this household, we had more than one streaming platform. So Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. We have not cut Netflix or Disney Plus just yet. It's really nice to have Disney Plus for a 2-year-old, by the way, especially when they are in your house next to you all the time. We did not cut Netflix, but I will explain what I did with Netflix here in just a few.
Will you help me think of a few things that are unnecessary? What else could be unnecessary? What did you put under there? I know that we had 3 different music things we cut down to 1 Spotify account. We cut the rest. But what else could be? What's unnecessary?
So one thing, I got a little creative with this because I started having fun as soon as I started cutting out some of the big ones. I tried to figure out where the little leaks are. It's easy to spot a big leak. Like, okay, we have 3 music things for some reason, right? That's easy to say, well, let's get that down to 1. Unnecessary for me was phone insurance. I was paying $20 a month for phone insurance, and I could I do break my phone sometimes, so I didn't get rid of it completely, but I cut that down to the lowest tier. The tier I was on was actually allowing me to replace 3 different phones every 12 months. That's a lot.
Yeah.
If you're breaking your phone 3 times a year, you got issues, man. You got issues. Okay, that was one thing. I also cut out the phone payment. I had only had 2 or 3 payments left on the phone anyway, so I just paid that off and got rid of that monthly expense. A couple other things that I think were unnecessary: wine memberships.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be a need right now. I don't know, but we had it this. I cut those out. Cut them out.
What
We
about
got creative here too. We did our fuel. We had so much every month for our fuel budget. Well, that's just silly right now. So that was able to be changed quite a bit too.
Good point. Good point. Anyone else have any other unnecessaries that they know they're going to get rid of already did?
We negotiated all of our contracts, like with Verizon and our internet. We got them down quite a bit.
Ooh.
Well done. Lauren, I'll go through my entire cut list at the end of this. Okay.
You can do some creative things with your insurance. And
You cut out a little bit, but all I heard was you can get creative with insurance.
with basis, depending on how you pay for your insurance. That's it. Yeah, so just increase your deductible, how much you could afford in the event of an accident, and just increase your deductible. And if you just increase that to $10 deductible, you can draw your insurance.
Good point. Good point. One other thing too, while we're talking about that, actually, you know what? I'll save it for later because I do talk about insurance here in just a minute. So once we went through the bank statement exercise, I ended up saving about $28,000 a year, and that's just on round 1. I'll be going through this again. I know I'll get to closer to about 34 a year at least. But my coach and I were having a conversation about expenses versus investments, because the goal here was not to cut investments. So investments would be education and coaching. It would be people, and it would be opportunities. I don't want to limit myself in opportunities just because I'm, I guess, well, we're in a market of an uncertainty right now. Is the best way I'd say it, right? So I don't want to limit myself as far as that goes. So an expense costs you money, and an investment will make you money. It's as simple as I can put it. Expense will cost you money. Investment makes you money. Okay. Investment can do other things as well, but making money is the one thing most people think of. It can also save you a lot of time. Okay. So think of it that way. Is there an investment out there that I can make that saves me time? So Starbucks, Comcast, other consumer goods, expense, rental property, people. And I preface this by saying the right people, good people, business opportunities. These are all investments. What else do you guys would you consider an expense?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is or not, but girls get their hair done, their nails done, all sorts of stuff like that. Obviously, we're not doing any of that anymore. And when I did this the first time on mine, I realized maybe instead of going every 6 weeks to get my hair done, I could go every 8 weeks. It's not much, but at the end of the year, it actually saved me $900. I know.
I don't know where you're getting your haircut, man, but dang.
Well, I don't get it. I mean, you're a
I'll
dude.
cut your hair for that.
You're-
I will too.
It's the color. It's the color. It's
It's
the
the
color.
color.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
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 I get it. You can just let it go. I mean, come on. Look at
Well,
that.
all of us can't be gray at the age of 12.
Thank you.
All right, Lene. All right. I see you. I actually.
But I
should I-
think,
oh, go ahead.
I think that also some people have decided to give up like their office space at the office and some other business expenses that, some people maybe are cutting back on their mailings or paying for ads or maybe reallocating those dollars, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we had a really good conversation about that. And my coach was talking to me about this and said, for an investment to make any sense, it needs to create ROI. So what is ROI? It's return on investment. So the example that we hear most is if I spend $1, my expectation is I will get $4 in return. So in order to decide if you should be making cuts in the realm of farming or mailers or anything like that, you need to decide what's my expected ROI.
Mm.
Okay, if I'm sending out 1,000 mailers in a farm and I've been doing it for 9 months and I have 2 sales, I need to actually look at the numbers and say, okay, am I getting my 4-to-1 return on investment? Otherwise, cut it. Now, if I am, I'm keeping it. I'm absolutely keeping it because that's a lead generator. It's a good ROI. But if you don't know your numbers, that's where it's going to get a little bit difficult. But it's not hard to find out. If you're sourcing where your business comes from and you're sourcing the cost of any of your mailers, which shouldn't be that hard, you should be able to do that from your bank statements. You'll be able to figure out what this looks like.
So what I have done, Chris, is because some of us are still kind of looking at doing our taxes. My my accountant helped me out a lot every year. And what I do is I go back and look at my expenditures and things that I've done, and I can really see where I should have not spent. My husband is also self-employed. I can see just where he go and spend $2,000 or $3,000 when he's out of town on fast food. And I catch this, and you guys want to look at it, but that's an easy way to see where your expenses are.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're not getting much return on your investment into fast food, by the way. Cut it. All expenses are up for discussion here. So maybe you need to change vendors, negotiate with vendors. An example, and Lindy actually mentioned this, right now I have AT&T. I live in a neighborhood called Tahale where AT&T does not work at all. AT&T is one of the more expensive providers out there as well. So I know that if I switch to T-Mobile, which actually does have service in my neighborhood, probably going to save me around $1,200 a year. Okay. Comcast is another one. Call and tell them you want a better deal. They're pretty easy to talk to about this stuff, actually. Anyone that's done this in the past knows that they're pretty much willing to slash and make some good deals here for you. So talk to them, or just tell them you're going to switch to satellite if you don't get a good deal.
I think also asking to possibly bundle, now that we have more of us actually being on, the technology side. I bundled just about 6 months ago, and I really saved a lot of money. CenturyLink, I couldn't believe what I was spending in internet. And when I bundle with everything, I saved a lot of money.
Yep. Very good. So get creative with this. You need to think outside the box a little bit. One, are you paying for a gym that you can't use? Are you paying for Audible, but you have 4 to 5 credits on your account? If so, pause the payment. Use the credits. Okay. I guarantee you, most of us have credits. If you have Audible, you probably have credits sitting in your account. You're not using them. Lene, I see you.
I think I have 6.
Yes, I do too. It's okay. So pause it. Pause it. What's great about Audible is that the library does not go away.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can pause it just fine. You're going to be okay from there. Okay. Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon Prime, all your other streaming services. With Netflix, for me, somehow I upgraded to 4K streaming, which I just don't really care about, but it was an extra $4 or $6 a month. Okay, so I downgraded. I didn't cancel my Netflix yet. I had to get through Ozark season 3, and the Tiger King. You haven't seen Tiger King? That's wild. I didn't want to get rid of it completely, but I did save a little bit of money there. Okay. And by the way, if you do have Netflix in 4K, a lot of the movies and whatnot that they stream are not in 4K anyway. Okay. So do you have phone insurance? So if so, examine which one. I was able to cut $6 out a month. So there you go. And speaking of insurance, it's time to find out what's worth paying for. The main thing here, audit and compare your insurance. Okay, we have really easy tools that can help this out in this realm. One is Keller Covered. All right, if you haven't tried Keller Covered yet, give it a shot. Go to www.kellercovered.com. Okay, we have, being as large as we are, we were actually able to create this marketplace with discounted coverage for people. Okay, I already looked. It saves me $400 a year on my primary home insurance, and that's the only thing I've looked at so far. So this will be in my round 2 savings. But kellercovered.com. Okay, I'm going to go through another tip on that in just a second. How many people here have dental insurance? Okay, I used to. I used to until I went back and looked at my dentist bill and realized that with my copays every time I went and how much I still had to pay out of pocket, it wasn't making any sense for me to actually pay dental insurance. Okay, don't take my word for this. You need to examine it before you just say, hey, Chris said to do it. Look at your bill, decide if it makes any sense. It saves me quite a bit of money every month by not paying it. Okay, we were paying almost $900 a year for it, and I would still have pretty large bills from the dentist anyway. So when was the last time you got a quote for your home and auto? When was it? It's been a
2
while.
months ago.
You just bought. You don't count. Okay. But most of us probably are just content with letting it be because it's comfortable just to take it as is. All right. I would say get some quotes. Go to kellercovered.com, compare from there. These are just for home insurance, at least the quotes are, but you can call the provider and ask for a bundle as well. Okay. So you can bundle car insurance with it and everything else. This is available on rental property as well. It saves us, I think, $300 a year on that piece of property too. Okay. There's a couple tips here though. Make sure you claim yourself as the KW agent. Once you're associated with yourself or with a KW agent, additional discounts are able to be taken for you. Okay. And this is a really, really good lead generation tool right now. I mean, if you can save someone $400 to $1,000 a year, they're going to be thankful. It's a really, really great touch. And it takes seconds. Has anyone here done a refi lately? Nope.
I'm mortgage free. Woo, woo.
Ooh. I like
Buy something else this year.
I
Wow.
tried to do the refi through the Keller, but rates had just gone up and I just kind of missed the window. because I just bought in August. And so when they dropped down for a little bit there, it was like going to save me hundreds a month, but we missed it.
I was lucky. I got in probably right before you looked. We just locked in at 3.1 on a third. But I think 2 days later they jumped to above 4. But that, by the way, I owe $500,000 on my house, so that saves just under $300 a month. I did not include that in my round 1 of cuts just because it's not final yet. I'm waiting till it closes. Keep your eye on rates, by the way. Talk with your local lenders, talk with Keller Mortgage, whoever you want to use. You need to be ready to pull the trigger. I don't expect rates to stay where they're at over the next month and a half. Maybe they will. I don't know at this point. But they are artificially higher than they should be right now.
The odd thing is that my stuff's been in there for like a month. And I keep hearing about everybody locking in over the last few weeks at way less. And so I'm just kind of curious. I do have a Keller agent. He's in Wisconsin. He says that he'll call, but I think maybe I need to shop around and find a different one because I feel like rates have dropped since I've applied and could have maybe qualified. It would save
Yeah,
me.
they were. Yeah, I have a client approved with Keller Mortgage, and they were at like 3. We got 3.375
Yeah.
just like 2 weeks ago.
Is that
He didn't lock in because we didn't get the property, but that's what he was approved at 3.375.
Lene, was that FHA?
No, conventional.
And refi is going to be different than a 30-year by a little bit, but even then I'm at 4.2 right now. So even 3.6, 3.7 would still save me $200 a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other questions on some of these cuts, you guys? Okay. So we're going to go into what I ended up cutting. So I have my list here. So what Chris cut, personal, we canceled HBO. That was $15 a month. I since Game of Thrones ended, I don't remember watching HBO for anything. Okay. But I've been paying it for months. So we canceled.
Showtime's free right now, FYI, you guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just make sure if you do sign up for something that's free right now, make sure you understand when the free trial ends. Okay. It's just like, it's just like asking for a forbearance or non-payment on your mortgage for a little while. I'm noticing that you're allowed to do that for 3 months or so, but then they're asking on month 4 for the bulk payment. So be careful. Make sure you're understanding what you're signing. And further, make sure your clients understand that if they do that, and a bulk payment's on the docket, that can put a lot of people in trouble. If you have the money, it's probably wise to just continue to pay. Canceled dental insurance. That was just under $74 a month. We were members at Planet Fitness at $28 a month. We got rid of that. Paid off my iPhone at $38 a month. That's gone. Lowered AT&T phone insurance. Lowered Netflix down, as I mentioned. A couple other things too. We have one of our cars is not paid off. We are paying $200 extra every month. I'm not doing that right now. So if anyone likes paying, if they're like me and you like paying a little bit more towards some of your debt, I'm not saying don't do it. Just be aware of that could be an area where you may want to consider making that change. Okay. So on my personal side, I saved $365.80 a month on round 1. Doesn't sound like much, by the way, but for the year, that's just under $4,400, which is a lot.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't bad. Lindy, have you done yours?
Yeah, we're at 3,012 for the year.
Nice. Awesome.
For personal.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to show you what I did on the business side of things too. And I encourage you to do this with other people. I don't think I don't think a lot of people are willing to just show books like this, but I've been around it my whole life, an open book business, so why not? On the business side, I canceled QuickBooks. I just wasn't using it, and I have an accountant as well, so it was a little bit redundant. I might revisit it, but that was $28 a month. I canceled KWYP. Believe it or not, I am still eligible, despite the gray hair.
You're eligible for 3 more days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit you before you quit me.
That's right. So that saved $42 a month. I like that, Lene. Well done. I had a virtual assistant I was not utilizing, in my opinion, or at least the job description was not matching what I needed right now. Okay, so at the same time, I don't like cutting people. I viewed this as a service I wasn't really utilizing very well at all. So I got rid of the contract with the virtual assistant company. That saved me just about $1,800 a month. Maps coaching, cut the bill by $500 for the next 2 months. That's $1,000 in savings. Office savings of $30 a month, so that's $60 for the next 2 months because we cut $30 back. And then we also had a 50% savings in office space as well, which helps out a ton. So that's another $200 in savings. Okay, so on the business side, we had a total of $1,820 per month. And that doesn't include MAPS or KWPS because those are just the 2-month periods. Okay, so I saved on the business side $23,000 a year.
Wow.
That's
So
pretty good.
yes,
Mhm.
the total together was $27,377.60.
Not too shabby. That's
Not
pretty good.
not too shabby. I recommend you do the personal with your spouse if the spouse is around. You're gonna want their permission before you start cutting everything, by the way. But I
Not
also
really.
so I did this and I showed it to Olivia, and she looked at it and said, well, why were you paying for those things in the first place? And I said, you're right. But what happens is when revenue goes up, we let our expenses get a little bit out of control. And this isn't much per month, especially on the personal, right? But when you add it up over 12 months, it's $4,400. Like, I mean, come on.
That's a vacation. That's a vacation, or putting that towards an extra mortgage, extra principal on your mortgage, or I mean,
Yep. Exactly. That's when I look at the ROI on what I cut out of the personal budget, there is no ROI. It was just, this is all just expense. It's crap I don't need. I'm excited for round 2 because I know that getting rid of AT&T completely and switching to a better provider for my area is going to save me a lot of money. So round 2 is going to be fun.
Have you looked into Xfinity for
Not
cell
yet.
phone? I pay $108. Granted, our cell phones are paid off. We bought them through Xfinity, but you can now just take an unlocked phone down there. But I pay $108 for 2 cell phones, unlimited, including tax and whatever else. So, and it's only gone up since I've had them. It's only gone up $3, and I've had them for over a year now.
And how's the service on it?
It's great.
Cool.
Worked in Mexico. Mexico was expensive compared to when I had AT&T. I was a 10-year, AT&T goer. You get Mexico for free.
Right.
Mexico was kind of expensive. That was an extra $100 for the week I was in Mexico. But honestly, $108. So I pay for myself and my son, and it's unlimited. Never had any issues with service anywhere. It even works. When I had AT&T, we travel over to Eastern Washington a lot. So when I would go to my mom's or I would go to Desert Air, we didn't have service over there. Xfinity works over there. And you get free Wi-Fi wherever somebody has Xfinity. So your phone, if you buy an Xfinity phone there, if you walk into somebody's house, you automatically get free Wi-Fi wherever you go. in businesses, offices, whatever.
That's great. What I'm getting from that though is that you can actually cut out your hotspot capability for the most part if you have
Mhm.
that in
Mhm.
Xfinity.
Yeah, and you know what, actually, when I don't have a strong enough Wi-Fi, like Starbucks or something, say, like, or say it's lagging or slow, I just can use my phone because the phone will pick up the hotspot. Yeah.
The other thing to kind of think about too is sometimes I forget, but you know, we have those discounts through the National Association of Realtors. And maybe go in and see what kind of discounts we have there. I always forget about it. But at one point in time, I bought my phone through that program, and I saved like hundreds of dollars.
Mm. You know, KW has some pre-negotiated things as well with Verizon, I believe, and some other companies like that I'll look into for round 2. Okay.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah.
this is Katrina.
Hey, Katrina.
Kind of off topic, I'm sorry, but number one, really want to thank you for this. I really appreciate your taking the time and being transparent with this. And a total of 27,000 is really phenomenal. But
Yeah.
what you really need to realize is you need to make $35,000 to $39,000 in income to pay for that 27,000. Because with the taxes, self-employment, and everything you're paying, that's the reality of it. So you're saving an income of about $35,000, $37,000 by
Yeah.
taking this off. So
Yeah. That's
the
a
real.
really good point, by the way.
Well, I've been in the tax business for 30 years, so that's what it hits me as. Appreciate your time on this.
That's you know, I was thinking about that this morning, so I'm really glad that you actually mentioned it. I didn't want to throw out my thoughts on that until someone more knowledgeable mentioned it. So thank you for talking about that. I mean, that's $3,000 a month, you guys. That's $3,000. That's a $500,000 loan, right? You can go buy a couple rental properties. That's great.
It's true.
Okay, so I have a couple things for suggested reading, by the way. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. If you haven't read that, highly recommend it. Cash Flow Quadrant, also by Robert Kiyosaki. Highly recommend that. Shift, duh. Buy it. I think it's $5 on kellerinc.com right now. I think they're out, by the way, but I'm sure they're going to be restocking. So $5 for a book, not bad. Or Lene, use one of your 6 Audible credits.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You're muted, and I'm kind of glad because I think you said something sarcastic. Yeah, of course. Okay. So another really great book, and I've read this book multiple times now, Wealth Can't Wait by David Osborne. I don't know if you've heard of GoBundance, but he is he's high up in KW somewhere in the middle of the country. But Althea Osborne is his mom, who's one of the #1 profit share earners in the company. But really, really great stuff. And a lot of this is actually what he talks about is all the opportunity within KW to create the wealth. So I think it's a great book. Atomic Habits, James Clear. Total Money Makeover, Dave Ramsey. Everyday Millionaires, Chris Hogan. Financial Peace, Dave Ramsey. Profit First, Mike Michalowicz. And there's a lot more books, by the way. These are just a couple that I thought of a little bit earlier today. Other resources. I think one of the most underutilized things in our company right now is that Dennis Ranch is willing to review your P&Ls for free for you right now. So you can contact him at dennisranch@kw.com or give him a call at 206-310-5788. Highly recommend this. If you don't have a P&L, now's a really good time to start. We're only a couple months into the year. chances are you're going to have a little bit extra time on your hands right now to figure out where your expenses are. Do this. I'm telling you, do it.
Chris, can you, I was using a P&L from the core training. You have a Keller Williams or a different P&L that you recommend that I use?
Yes, I will have Dennis send you what he likes as a template.
Okay, perfect.
But here's the thing, whatever you're using is going to be the best system. It's like a CRM, right? If you have a CRM and you don't use it, it's worthless. But if you have something that you like, then great. So I'll tell him to send you something.
Okay, perfect.
I'm requesting that everyone on this call adds up your savings for both personal and business and contact me. Okay, let me know how much you saved because I am tracking this. I want to get to 1 million. I don't know why. It just sounds really cool. And I have a big ego and that sounds fun. So let's do it.
What's our time frame on this? Because I'm on round 2 and it might take me a little bit longer than round 1 did.
Well, really as long as you need. I mean, we're quarantined here for the next week and a half, right? At least. So why don't you just, how long did the first round take you, Lindy?
4 days.
Okay. It took me 15 minutes, by the way, to cut out what I cut out. I might have had a little bit more low-hanging fruit than Lindy, most likely. But it took me 15 minutes to cut out. What did I save? 27 grand. Someone do my hourly rate on that. Tell me what it was.
A lot.
100,000.
Thank you, Katrina. 100,000 an hour? Not bad. I'll do it for you for 100,000 an hour too, by the way. Okay. So yeah, please send me that. Also, KW Connect has some really great live streams specifically built around finance and management as far as those go. Keep watching those if you're not. Jason Abrams just did a live stream this morning with another MAPS coach. That was awesome. We don't have an excuse to not be looking at this. There is no excuse to not be looking at it. It takes way too little of time and way too little of effort to just allow that much money out the door without holding it accountable or at minimum examining why you're spending the money. Okay. So here is the amount that we have so far as far as what people have saved. Okay, so you can see Guru saved is $263 so far this year. We have people as high as 108,000. Okay, my goal on this was to see how far we can get without cutting people, because I think people will be an investment, not an expense. The right people. Okay, so again, I'd love to see your numbers. Be transparent with this. I think we're all going to get better because of it. But any other questions right now? Cool.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. I appreciate you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and go slash for some cash.
Thanks
All
for
right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Call me if you have any questions.